Hi, and thank you for joining us. I am Christina Garnett, the Marketing Director here at the Roanoke Regional Small Business Development Center. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful week back from a holiday season. And today's FAQ is going to specifically be talking about social media automation. So a lot of small business owners, you don't have the budget, you don't have the time to do it yourself or to even hire someone to do it for you. So today's entire message is going to give you a little kind of briefing on what sort of automation tools are out there so that you can utilize those to really kind of pump up your social media presence while at the same time not spending all of your money and all of your time. So I'm going to start by focusing on the two big names, which is going to be Hootsuite and Buffer. Now, I'm not affiliated with either. I've done training with both, and I'm going to tell you right now, you need to play with both. They do have free options, and then they have paid options that scale up depending on how large your team is, as well as how many accounts you want on there and how many different account partners you want. So if you have a team, you're going to be looking at more than one person logging into that account to have access and have responsibility on the social media accounts. You're going to be spending more money for that. In addition to that, you're going to be focusing on basically, the higher up you go and the more that you pay, the more capabilities you're going to have, the more posts that you can have in your queue, as they call it. And in addition to that, those free options, there's usually 1 to 2 different channels or platforms that are not going to be available for you. So when I say channel or platform, I'm talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things of that nature. So usually you're going to be limited. I know that Hootsuite and Buffer both have free options, and they usually tend to minimize the amount of people that are on there for you, as well as how many channels you can have. The next step up from the free option is usually about $10 to $15 a month. So if you're doing it on your own, but you are taking care of up to 5 to 10 different accounts and platforms, then that's really a great option for you. It can go all the way up to a team posting, which is going to be anywhere from 100 to 200 depending on how many people you have on there. So it's really a great option to go ahead and go in there. What I personally use Hootsuite, but I know people who absolutely adore Buffer. So what I would really recommend you doing is, if that you are interested in those, trying a free offer on both and seeing which one really works for you. You will have a favorite, and there's really no way of telling you which one is that you're going to really connect with until you use it and really are able to see what works best for you, for your voice, and for your brand. So after that, if we look at those as like an entry point into automation, the next thing we're going to be looking at is bigger time, more expensive ones. So there we're talking about Sprout Social. Sprout Social is a fantastic program, but I would really recommend it for larger companies or for like an agency. If an agency is doing your social media for you, they're going to be able to afford something like that. That's going to be, it starts at $99 a month and goes up from there. So it's going to have a lot of the same capabilities as Hootsuite and Buffer, but it's just going to be more sophisticated. It's going to have more capabilities for them, and so like I said, that's going to be for a larger business or for an agency that's going to be running social media automation. Another option is going to be HubSpot. They have a software, an entire marketing software package, and obviously I'm a huge HubSpot fan, but that is $200 a month. So it basically will walk through all of your marketing for you, and it will tell you, it will do your metrics, your analytics, and all of that. And it will also help you create a queue so that you can automate a lot of your message and make sure that your content is going out there the way you'd like, so that you're not having to spend all of your time online. You're able to spend concentrated amounts of time to focus on what your content's going to be, creating that content calendar. And that's another great thing about automation. You can have your automation, your queue, you can let that be your content calendar, so that not only do you have it there and you're able to see what you're posting, but it's also going to be pushed out for you, so you don't have to worry about doing that too. So keep that in mind. The other option is Social Oomph, which is not as expensive as Sprout Social or HubSpot. It's $17.97, and that's going to be every 2 weeks. Once again, it's kind of like a mid-grade between Hootsuite, Buffer, and then looking at the HubSpot social software as well as the Sprout Social. Then there are some, depending on what you really want to do with your marketing, there is another great application out there. It's called Zapier. It's Zapier, and what it does is it connects all of your networks together so that you can actually create a Zap, is what they call it, where basically your website talks to your Facebook, or your Facebook talks to your website, or your website talks to Twitter. So let's say that you do a new blog post on your website, you can have that zap to your Twitter or zap to your Facebook. So anytime you're talking to one place, you're making sure that it zaps that stuff out. Another group that talks about and does something very similar to that is Meet Edgar. It does something similar where basically if you put anything on your website, it sends it out socially, so that basically you have all your social networks trying to send it back to your landing page, send it back to your website. So if your goal is to use social media just to get website conversion, to make sure that everyone's being sent to your website, Meet Edgar is a very interesting idea that you guys might want to play with, maybe do a trial. That's $49 a month. So as you can see, a lot of these do have a monthly price tag on them, but I would really start, if you're new to automation, I would start with Hootsuite and Buffer and make sure that you really kind of get a handle on what you're doing. Like I said, it can be your content calendar as well as a way for you to boost everything out to post, and then making sure that you're kind of you're seeing all of your places in one. The thing I like about Hootsuite and Buffer is that your dashboard, you can actually pull up all of your social media in one place, and so you really get a good gauge. You can actually have an eye on all of your social media at the exact same time, so you're able to really see in real time what's going on and what the impact is. So I hope that answers some of your questions about automation. Feel free to give me a call at 540-983-0717 extension 108, or you can email me at cgarnett@roanoke-chamber.org. I would love to answer any questions that you have about social media marketing and social media automation. It's a really great way to save time and money, and like I said, if you don't have the means or the time to pay someone or to do it yourself to do this, it's a really great opportunity to play with it a little bit and see if we can get that easier for you guys. So from the Small Business Development Center, this is Christina Garnett, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and you have a great rest of your week, Roanoke. Bye.